All right, here's a live look at our Store Smart Sky Cam this evening from the Cape Coral Westin down in Marina Village. Beautiful shot there. Got a few clouds around, but rain is absent. We had that a little bit earlier today. Most of that has moved well inland. The East Coast dealing with some showers and storms now along the I-95 corridor, but we're mainly dry here in Southwest Florida. It looks like for the rest of this evening, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Only an isolated chance for a shower popping up here throughout the evening hours. Look at all the soaking rain over on the East Coast, but you get a little bit closer to home. There's really not much going on here. As you can see, we are tracking one small shower just to the west of Pine Island. Looks like it's going to fall apart before it even makes there, but there's really not much else going on here across the area as we kind of got all the rain out of the way a little bit earlier in the day. Temperatures around 80 degrees for Moorhaven and Clewiston, but still running near 90 degrees. That's what it is right now here in the Cape. Heat index got over 100 degrees for many locations this afternoon, so it still continues very warm and humid outside, hot in some instances, but the showers and storms have been cooling things off here throughout the afternoon. And it looks like for the rest of tonight, skies will be mostly cloudy, 80s then 70s here for later on tonight. It'll be very humid once again, and then it looks like another day of westerly flow across the area here for tomorrow. Actually, it looks like the westerly to southwesterly flow that we had today is going to become more northwesterly tomorrow. So what we're going to see are the storms developing along the coast, moving from northwest to southeast and then gradually spreading inland. So you see how these storms are moving in this general direction today. They're going to be coming out of the northwest here for tomorrow, but slowly making their way inland here through the afternoon. But still pretty decent chance for showers and storms here across the area throughout the morning and afternoon here for tomorrow. Let's talk about Dorian. Doesn't really look like much. Just going back several years of just looking at these tropical systems, and when you see them like this in late August in this part of the tropics, typically they look a lot healthier than this. This one is really having some issues with dry air as well as a little bit of wind shear. I do want to show you a couple of things that we're looking at. The exhaust system. When these storms develop, the air comes in, goes up, and spreads outward. You have to have that breathing out in the upper atmosphere in order for the storm to intensify. That's occurring right here. This is what we call outflow. It's kind of feathering out on the east side, on the west side, I should say. Notice how you don't see that on the east side, and as a result of some northeasterly shear that it's encountering. All this brown and black that you see around it is dry air that it's ingesting, and that has been keeping it with winds of 50 miles an hour here throughout the really the past 24 hours or so. It just simply has not been able to get its act together, given the fact that it is going over warm water. That just goes to show you need more than warm water to get these things going. Maximum sustained winds at 50, moving to the west-northwest at 13, pressure at 1,005 millibars. Forecast track was shifted north just a little bit because the center actually developed a little farther north due to those thunderstorms is kind of moving around. But you can see the forecast track still has the cone of uncertainty over all of the Florida Peninsula. A little closer inspection here. As we get into the weekend, later in the weekend, that's when we expect it to get into the Bahamas. And this area is where it could try to get its act together because the shear will be lighter. The water temperatures are very warm out here. And in the past, we've seen storms really ramp up when they move through the Bahamas or this part of the Atlantic. So we'll be watching it carefully. But it really all depends on how it interacts with land, if you will. Now, a couple of things that we're going to be watching. Is it going to avoid the Dominican Republic? If it does, it'll have a little better chance of staying intact. But if it happens to go right over the mountainous terrain of the Dominican Republic, it will tear that circulation up, and it will have a difficult time reorganizing. But you can see the computer model forecast tracks are tightly spread. There's a tight clustering here of the tropical models right along the Space Coast, up around Titusville, Cape Canaveral, down towards, I'd say, Melbourne, or if you want to call it that. So it looks like right now the Florida East Coast, chance for a landfall there by Sunday. But again, it's all kind of a fluid situation, and you're just going to have to keep it tuned here. We'll keep you updated as the storm develops, and we'll get a little better idea of what it's going to do. Tomorrow morning, storms developing near the coast. Notice how they're moving northwest to southeast. That'll be the MO here for tomorrow. And then by Thursday, we're going to start to get back to an easterly flow. What does that mean? Storms will start firing up during the afternoon and evening as opposed to the morning. Forecast tonight, 78, mostly cloudy. Maybe an isolated shower popping up this evening, but I think the rain is done for the most part. 91 for tomorrow, scattered showers and storms. West-northwest winds 5 to 10. Here's your 7-day forecast. Chances for rain continue, mainly during the afternoon and evening through the rest of the week. Right now, Labor Day weekend is going to be highly dependent on what Dorian does, but one thing's for sure, it does look like the rain chances will be coming up, at least for part of the weekend for some areas.
All right, thank you, Derek.